satellite observing farm fires captured 80 incidents of active fires across Punjab. 41 FIRs under Section 223 of the BNS have been registered against farmers for allegedly indulging in stubble burning. At 43 sites, crop burning was verified physically. In Punjab, 663 hotspot villages have been identified where more than 75% of the area of the village burnt in the last 3 years. Environmental compensation has been imposed at 22 locations and damages were recovered.
किसानों को यही समझाया जा रहा है भी जो पराली की जो है ना आग हमने नहीं लगानी है, इसको हमने संभालना है। हमारे जो अमृतसर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में लगभग 1,80,000 हेक्टेयर के करीब जो है ना धान पैदा होता है, जिसमें से 1,40,000 हेक्टेयर के करीब जो है वो बासमती है और 40,000 हेक्टेयर के बीच जो जिसको आप मोटा चोना बोलते हो पैडी, वो लग रही है, जिसमें पैडी का जो पराल है वो थोड़ा ज्यादा होता है। उस सभी के लिए जिला प्रशासन, पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड, एग्रीकल्चर डिपार्टमेंट जो कंबाइन जो अपनी मुहिम जो है ना चला रहा है।
Now, stubble burning in neighboring states, including Punjab, is one of the major causes of air pollution. Major causes of air pollution in the Delhi-NCR during the winters. Now, the Punjab government has set up a dedicated control room for real-time monitoring of Parali, which is burning in Amritsar. It has also hosted special awareness camps to curb stubble burning. Flying squad teams will be formed in Punjab and Haryana for monitoring progress at the field level in the hotspot districts. The Commission for Air Quality Management in NCR and adjoining areas recently met officials of Punjab and Haryana, including district magistrate, deputy commissioners and SSP from 23 districts of Punjab and 22 districts of Haryana to discuss the issue and measures to control Parali. The CAQM has criticized lax measures and instructed Punjab and Haryana to strictly implement agriculture residue management procedures and guarantee zero stubble burning during the upcoming paddy harvest season. Both states were instructed to increase evening patrols to prevent agriculture fires, mobilize crop residue and management of equipment in accordance with harvesting patterns, and raise awareness about the need to prevent open burning of the biomass. As the season progresses and air pollution intensifies, stubble burning causes significant risk to Delhi and other northern cities. Stubble burning releases harmful gases. These include methane, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, and particulate matter. PM2.5, a harmful category of unburned carbon particles, can increase more than twice during the stubble burning period. Exposure causes respiratory problems, reduces lung function, and exacerbates conditions. These include asthma, heart disease. The elderly and young children are particularly vulnerable. So the biggest question is, how do we prevent it? And let me show you data. What was the AQI of Delhi last year? And it is going to stun you. 806 on Diwali night in 2024. AQI above 400 is considered severe. We created a death chamber in NCR. Death chamber. There was a haze like this. Entire NCR was inhaling poison. So are we going to avert it? Or is Delhi going to undergo a similar death chamber? On this, I am joined by Vimlendu Jha, environmentalist, and Sunil Dahiya, founder and lead analyst in Biocatalyst. Thank you, both of you. Let me straight away go to Vimlendu. Vimlendu, are we going to be subjected to this torture chamber yet again?
Yes, I think there's every hope and belief that we will actually be in this gas chamber once again, because nothing fundamentally has changed on ground. The media report and the data points that you're actually talking about with regard to stubble burning, the instances of stubble burning, be it in Amritsar or in various parts of Punjab and also in Haryana, perhaps relatively there'll be lesser number of fires, but the fact that there'll be enough farm fires, instances of farm fires this year too, because there's nothing concrete that has happened on the ground. And by nothing concrete, I mean, one, in terms of crop diversification, that is one of the main measures in terms of really looking at how do we control stubble burning, and the other is looking at incentives and slash measures on ground primarily to demotivate or de-incentivize farmers to be doing it. Nothing on ground has actually happened. Again, on the eve of stubble burning, we've seen Punjab government again talking about action plan. Haryana government, we don't really know if they have an action plan. And this entire waking up on the eve of stubble burning each year really
Is
makes,
it also about the fact that, Punjab is addicted to rice and wheat? Is it also because of that, the transition to millets have not taken place, the underground water consumption, the consumption of the water from the aquifers and reservoirs is depleting the level of water in Punjab, and plus the intense use and then subsequently Parali burning happens, the larger issue is being missed here?
Absolutely. So that's what most of the agricultural scientists and also air pollution experts have been talking about, that we'll actually have to find a sustainable solution vis-a-vis stubble burning. And one of the main things is long-term crop diversification. As we almost imagine what we're doing is that we are actually causing an air pollution crisis as well as a water pollution crisis. And a lot of that is basically to export food. So we are exporting food and importing, death and toxic air in an entire North India, in Haryana, in parts of Uttar Pradesh, and indeed in Punjab. And therefore, we will have to have a regional plan. There's a geographical disadvantage, which is a reality that we actually have in the entire region, and therefore in the entire Indo-Gangetic region in that sense, and we'll have to take concrete steps. But those concrete steps cannot be taken by individual farmers, the small farmers, or the landless farmers in that sense. It will have to be a collaborative effort between the central government and respective state governments. And of course, the Supreme Court and CAQM can only pass directions, but at the end of the day, the governance framework, both in terms of agriculture, economy and ecology, needs to be in place.
I think the compliance has to be voluntary in cases when it comes to really things which we call environment and climate. Mr. Dhaya, your opening comments on this Parali nightmare?
No, so as Vimlendu mentioned, it is very, very important that we wake up before the evening before the fire burning starts across the region. Vimlendu has also mentioned that most of the activities which continues being the primary polluting activities in the region have been continued over past so many years, literally the same way. And I would also say that this year, at least activities from other sectors, be it transportation, power generation, or even industries, we might see slightly higher pollution levels from those activities, primarily because now there is a free license for the older polluting vehicles to ply. There is no regulation on the power plants to control their emissions. And at the same time, we have also seen that the recent floods across Punjab and certain parts of Haryana might also play a role in terms of providing these farmers some revenue which they might have generated, which could have also been used to manage this stubble slightly better. So most of these factors are very unfavorable to the stubble burning problem, coupled with La Nino setting in. We'll be in for a very bad time.
Vimlendu, can you just put it in historical perspective? As a child, I've lived all my life in Delhi. I never witnessed Parali in 1980s. Why has this problem intensified now? What is the difference? Weren't farmers burning Paralis? Or is it something added, vehicle, Parali, other things?
So if you look at Parali, one thing, we need to understand post-green revolution and therefore the idea of growing so much food. Indeed, Punjab and Haryana were largely supposed to be the food bowl of India.
The basket, yeah.
But that was primarily for ourselves rather than to export food. So if you look at, we were not the highest basmati exporters that we've actually become. So there's a skewed understanding of food security. We're not just necessarily talking about internal food security. We're almost talking about food export bowl of India. In that sense is what Punjab and Haryana, various parts have become. The other thing is that we were burning stubble, or there was crop burning that was happening for several decades. But because of the water crisis that actually took place in various parts of Punjab and Haryana, that's when the sowing month and therefore the harvesting month, the entire cycle of production of rice in the entire region changed. And what this was primarily to address the water crisis. But what we ended up doing is that to solve a water crisis, we have created an air crisis and also pesticide and cancer crisis that is actually there in entire region. So, if we really keep doing band-aid solution to these ecological issues larger than looking at rather than looking at this anthropologically, rather than looking at this from the lens of economics and agriculture, and not just from one season at a time, but perhaps a decade or two at a time, because water insecurity, air insecurity, life expectancy, issues of migration, issue of labor and their death and morbidity and mortality, all these are allied issues and will have to be put in the same bowl and has to be dealt in the same respect rather than in isolated silos in that sense.
Absolutely, and absolutely. Mr. Dahiya, do you think that Parali burning has to be seen as one part of the larger issues? Too many cars, too many industries, climatic position of New Delhi, the entire NCR where the air gets trapped, sort of a holistic systems needs to be deployed rather than everyone expressing outrage on their mobile phones on the Diwali day.
No, definitely. I'll answer this in two parts. First one, whether we should only talk about Parali compared to other sources. We have seen over the past years that there has been a debate over the years wherein the city population thinks that the stubble burning is the only reason for air pollution in Delhi-NCR, while the people who live in these rural areas in Punjab and Haryana, they think that people owning cars in Delhi is the problem, and that's why these two constituencies have always been put against each other. While the bigger institutional polluters, as I mentioned, the industries, the power generation sector, and the failure of the entire system to provide robust public transportation system, all of that has gone unnoticed, and the responsibility has always been kept centered around the people, billions of people changing their lifestyles. While this needs to be done, the bigger institutional limitations which we have had in the system have not been done away with, have not been talked about. So we definitely need to
absolutely
talk about it. The other fact is that while we've been talking about stubble burning right now, we also need to talk about it, at least in the government and administration.
I think more than stubble burning, we also need to realize that I think there's an overloading of environment that is happening. And overloading is happening in terms of infrastructure, construction, cars, whether it's agriculture, the sustainable view of development. You know, last time Bimlendu was here, sustainable tourism. You know, I think the larger keyword here should be sustainable. And the reason why I decided to do this conversation with both of you is to tell people that we might end up with a similar Diwali of 2024 where AQI was more than 900. It's unimaginable. 806 on Diwali night in 2024. People said that it was way above that. We were not able to capture the depth of the pollution there. So I think just to remind that what we can face, I hope we have a good Diwali, not a Diwali like this. Thank you both of you. I've really run short of time. Thank you. Thank you. So this was on point 2. On the on point 3, we will talk about the rising incidence of the heart attacks among young people in India because it's the Heart Day today.
The answer.
You can take a left, you can take a right. Add me a salsa or a little jive. If you really feel it, say it on price. It's the vibe, it's the vibe, it's the vibe now.
हम यहाँ जान पे खेल रहे हैं, तू फोन पे खेल रहा है।
अरे पापा की गाड़ी का इंश्योरेंस रिन्यू कर रहा हूँ।
बड़े शौकीन पापा है, इतनी बड़ी गाड़ी।
तो एको से कराना।
क्यों?
क्योंकि जितनी बड़ी गाड़ी
एको पर उतना ज्यादा फायदा।
नहीं फटा।
अब बड़ी कार का एक्शन हीरो एको।
What are you watching, Dad?
Don't you often say, think before investing in the stock market? So I'm trying to gain some knowledge.
From whom?
That's this stocks expert. Makes great educational videos. Gives good investment tips too.
Dad, don't rely on such videos. Do your own research or contact a SEBI registered investment advisor. In the name of education, some influencers often misguide investors. You will have to bear the losses.
An investor awareness initiative by SEBI.
On World Heart Day, we examine the biggest risk factors of the cardiovascular health and how India is the epicenter of the heart ailments in the world. Heart disease continues to be the leading cause of death worldwide, and India is no exception. Every minute, 8 people die due to cardiovascular diseases in South